Hello everyone, this is just a dad. Today I'm going to do a comparison between the Nespresso and the Keurig. On the left here I've got the Nespresso Vertuo coffee maker from Brewing. On the right hand side I've got the Keurig K Supreme Plus Smart Coffee Maker. So the first part of this video I'm going to kind of show you the differences, and then I'm actually going to make a cup of coffee with each one. Okay, so let's talk pods. The Nespresso machine has these pods that look like this. They've got a code on the bottom. The machine's going to read that code and it's going to brew the proper amount of water through there. K-Cups have their coffee in a paper filter inside a plastic capsule. They both have about the same amount of coffee, 2 tablespoons. I did think the Nespresso had just a little bit more coffee in it. Again, here's what the pods look like. It's a completely different way of brewing the coffee. So on the Keurig machine, it's got a needle on the bottom and 5 needles, but some Keurig machines only have 1 needle on top. You're going to put the K-Cup in, it's going to pierce the top and the bottom and brew the coffee. On the Nespresso machine, you're going to put the pod in, it's going to pierce the middle and the sides and inject the hot water in the middle. It's going to centrifugal force, it's going to spin this pod really fast. So here I have some pods that I brewed already. See how it poked the 5 holes in the top? It injects the hot water, then the coffee comes out the bottom. On the Nespresso, it's going to pierce the needles. The middle is where the hot water is going to go, and then around the outside is where the coffee is going to come out. But it's going to be spinning this pod really fast. Okay, so let's open them up. It's hard to tell if the coffee is actually brewed any little different. I'm not really seeing that much of a difference in how the coffee is actually brewed inside it. So with Keurig K-Cups, they come in all different varieties. You can get teas, hot chocolates, all kinds of the name brand coffees, even the ones at McDonald's. The Nespresso, their wording's a little bit different, so it'll take some getting used to, but they do give you a sample pack when you get a machine that you can kind of read about and see what you might like. Now they do have some pods are actually espresso pods. So we can see this pod is a lot smaller than these other pods. This is an espresso pod and it's only going to run 1.35 fluid ounces through it. Whereas a normal coffee, it's going to run, here's a normal coffee, it's going to run 7.7 fluid ounces through a coffee. Here you can see it just a little bit. And the machine's going to do it automatically. See how they have a barcode on the bottom? It spins it, reads the barcode, and then it runs the water through there automatically. You just simply press a button and it does everything automatic. On the Keurig, you're going to select the size you want, the temperature, the brew strength, so you got a lot more control with the Keurig. So let's talk price. The coffee maker's relatively about the same. The pods is going to be the big difference. So K-Cups generally 30 cents to 75 cents for some of the more expensive ones. Nespresso pods, $1.20 to $1.30 per pod. And they can be a little harder to find. I have found them at Target, and of course Amazon's got them. Now the Keurig does have a reusable K-Cup that you can use your own coffee grounds in. Nespresso does it a little different. You buy these foil covers. You're going to reuse so you're going to have to get an old pod and take the coffee out, but you're going to put your coffee in an original pod and then put a foil lid on it. I've tried it. It actually works pretty good. Here's what these foils look like. So the Keurig machine was just very easy to kind of dial in what flavor I liked. Medium roast, dark roast, I like Dunkin' Donuts. So the Keurig was kind of good for beginners because you can really dial in your what kind of flavor you like and taste. The Nespresso, I think, makes a really good cup of coffee, and I'm starting to like it more and appreciate it more. But it's a little harder to kind of figure out what you would like. Just because some of the names are just a little different and they're not making the best sense, and you got to kind of go by the number of how dark of coffee it is. And since the pods are a little more expensive, it's a little harder to kind of figure out. You're afraid to buy a pod. If you don't like it, then you're going to be out a little bit of money. Whereas on the K-Cup side, you can buy variety packs. I bought a Green Mountain variety pack. It had like 10 K-Cups of like 4 different flavors, so it was very easy to kind of figure out what I would like. What I've seen from my comments on my videos, people kind of start out with Keurig machines maybe, then they're looking for something a little more robust, a little more truer to a coffee taste, and they kind of switch to an espresso machine. And it seems to me the coffee is just a little, it's like a stronger coffee. Now, not necessarily with caffeine stronger, but you get more of a true sense of a coffee flavor. Okay, so let's brew 2 cups of coffee side by side. You're gonna put the K-cup in, close the lid, it pierces the top and the bottom. Over here on the Nespresso side, you're gonna lift the lever, you're gonna put the pod in there. You gotta close the lid, it does the piercing and move that to the lock position. Now again, on the Keurig, I've got a lot of controls. I can run 10, 12, I can do different strengths. On here, on the Nespresso, I'm simply gonna press the button and it does everything for me. So let's press the 8 ounce, and I'm gonna just press the center K and I'll press this button. Okay, so let's start them both. I'll do temperature checks along the way. We end up with about the same cup of coffee temperature-wise, about 165. About 186. 150. The Nespresso machine is definitely louder because it's spinning that pod. The Keurig machine is definitely quiet. 187, 188. 150. Now the Nespresso will start ramping the temperature up here towards the end. There, 165, 166. And I usually see about 190 coming out of the Keurig machine. We end up with about a 167, 168. And then we're right around 180 now coming out. And it's going to do one last spin of that pod just to make sure it gets everything out. You're going to end up with about a 163. In the Keurig machine, it cools down so quick. So this one was about 166, 167. This is about 164. Miss Fiona's up from her nap. So you can see the coffees are completely different. Now the foam, I don't necessarily like the taste of the foam, but the coffee tastes really good. And if you stir that coffee, the foam sort of goes away. Where the Keurig, you don't have that foam on top. Again, these are not the exact same pods. I'm just trying to show you side by side what the coffee looks like. I'm not a coffee taste expert by no means, but the Nespresso does make a really good cup of coffee. And so's the Keurig machine. But once you've had kind of the more intense flavor of an espresso that you like, now I've had some of these Nespresso pods that I don't like, then you start to see that the Nespresso pod it does seem to be able to make a little bit stronger coffee than a Keurig machine. But again, you just got to ask yourself, do the benefits? So K-cups are so readily available, Nespressos can be hard to find your flavor. But one thing I've noticed from my videos and my comments from my videos is Nespresso is really starting to gain some traction against Keurig. I don't know sales or anything. I think I heard they sell like 3 million Keurigs a year. I have no idea how many Nespresso machines they sell. I know in Europe you can't buy a Keurig. They don't sell K-cups in Europe. So Nespresso machines are real popular. But again, I don't know the numbers, but I can just tell from the comments and kind of the views, how many views each videos are getting. The Keurigs are still very, very, very popular. But the Nespresso is really starting to make, I don't know if it's a comeback or if it's just new, but I think people are really starting to like the Nespresso machines. I just did an iced coffee review on the new iced coffee Nespresso pod. I was really blown away how good it tasted. I've done iced coffee out of Keurigs. Keurig tastes really good iced coffee. But again, this is where I noticed it. The Nespresso pod seemed a little more body, more coffee flavor, and a stronger coffee flavor, which I found that I'm starting to like a more stronger coffee flavor. Where with the Keurig, you can really start out, when I first started drinking coffee, Dunkin' Donuts medium roast was really good. It's kind of a smooth, not a lot of extra flavor. And then the longevity of the machines, I don't know. I do see some stuff online about Nespresso machines not lasting, but I see the Keurig K Supreme's got that thermostat in there that you have to reset. So some of the older Keurigs last a long time, but I think all machines kind of have their issues. And again, it's just hard to beat, like a Mocha Master or even the new Ninja, or not the new Ninja, but the Ninja 12-cup coffee maker. I'm going to be doing a comparison between the Ninja and the Mocha Master. I hope this video helps. I really appreciate everybody's comments. I got this video idea from a viewer, left a comment. I've seen it a couple times. So if there's another video that you would like to see made, leave them in the comments. I check my comments, try to every day, but it's about every 2 or 3 days sometimes. And I try to respond to them all. So leave a comment if there's a certain video you want to see made. Again, I'm just so thankful for everybody's support with this channel. If you could, please like and subscribe.